Okay, recording in progress. Was it a false start before? Are we on? If you're watching, it looks weird right now. If you're listening, it doesn't, because we just kind of go on and on if you are a
But
loyal listening. But we're live recorded.
what's
Today is Tuesday, October 24th. It's 12:43 a.m. at night. This is Republic Today, republictoday.net. We're in Pacific time zone. The time zone we're in is Pacific. We're connected to the Pacific culture. We recently went to a museum and saw some art. And again, if you're listening, this sounds normal. If you're watching, you're just seeing Jay peek around the corner. I'm Skull. Also, there's a cat in my lap named Noodle. Thank you for tuning in. I know it's been more sporadic recently, and my cadence regarding sort of the introduction and wanting to say hi relative to how often we've been recording and posting. The thing is, Jay's been recording and posting all of this, and I just kind of talk over. But I did sort of want to check in about the Republic today.
.net?
republictoday.net. We're gonna get the website up and running soon, if not momentarily, one of those things.
Correct.
Yeah, for sure.
It's on the list.
It's on the list. And cheers, we have been hanging out.
Salud.
Also, some home cooking happened. That has been a theme of the show in the past. If you're a first time tuner inner and don't know what this show is about, if you're a first time vlogcast viewer, we're vlogcasting live recorded. Republic Today, republictoday.net. This show is about, sometimes we cook, sometimes it's a cooking show, and we've gotten into cooking a couple times. We cook first and vlogcast after this time around, but Jay here hooked up some like redonk dumplings, really, really good gourmet quality eating. And I'm
Home
grateful.
cooking gourmet, by the way.
So this episode of Republic Today, republictoday.net, is sponsored by Olivia's. We sponsor Republic Today.
We don't even work here.
But I wanted to talk about economics a little bit. Also, happy basketball opening season.
Basketball.
We'll get to that at the very end. So just
sorry.
real quick, yeah, hell yeah, basketball.
Oh,
Yeah, and we can be like, yeah, if you want to get down a little bit. We've been checking out some tunes. We should do a review on a later episode too. But today we're talking about economics. And
Skull brought up some information from the Wikipedia about, please explain.
so I was asking it about quintiles.
Oh, okay.
One way to think about how income is distributed or wealth is distributed, or some combination of those things, mathematical, whatever, how you can sort of quantify a person's whatever money, quantify capital. I guess capital. We're talking about capitalism here in the American Republic, Pacific culture, part of the American Republic. We have different neighborhoods with strange names. I don't know, strange, like questionably appropriate names. I don't know. I don't like the borders element. Like, this is this border, this is that border. But anyway,
Right, but we also have to have some sort of common ground as to what is what.
how we communicate with stuff. We were talking about
Right,
that earlier
yeah.
offline. Yeah.
Like geography, whatever.
Different stuff like
Yeah,
that. Yeah. And so we were talking about continents and stuff, and so that's going to be future content too. But here I didn't get the full answer to the quintiles. I see percentiles 2019, but just the headline the median personal income. So if you take like one person, not a household income, right?
One person
And that's not just from work, right?
based on
They could have
the census,
investments, and it seems to be based on the census here on this Wikipedia
which
thing.
is self-reported often.
Yeah, I think I don't know how
Right.
much it's corroborated with the IRS, but that's a
Okay.
polling thing. We can check out 538.com. They study a lot of
Well,
polling.
yeah, this is how we kind of get into like um number of survey participants or whatever study participants, and then uh yeah, just correct data.
So median personal income in 2020 was 56,287 for full-time workers. And then a couple of sentences down, overall, including all households slash individuals, regardless of employment status, the median household income was 67,521 in 2020, while the median personal income,
Yeah, what does
including
that mean?
individuals aged 15 and over, was 35,805.
Oh, so that one is the personal, the other one is household.
Different ways of
Oh,
chopping it
okay.
up, right?
Okay. Okay.
But the lowest one is 35, and that's like, so if you average in the kids and stuff, there's kids who aren't making money or whatever. Oh, 15 and over. So if you have, they could be making money, right? If they're 15, they could work at a convenience store or something.
Okay.
Um, I think you can carry a gun in America at 15. Um, so then if you average together, there's people who have part-time jobs but are married to rich people.
So I
So
wasn't even, so according to this last number, I was well below even that number
right,
in 2020.
right. So not in the middle. And so I'd like
Right.
to see the different quintiles, but we didn't get that far before because I wanted to get going. I was itching to broadcast. And again, I'm grateful to our listeners and grateful to Jay for getting on here with me. So tell me your reaction. I mean, so the top quintile, here we go. And then I go to it, and that's what I would just want to see those. And then here's all this other stuff, right?
Welcome to the Wikipedia.
Heck yeah.
Crowdsourced, crowdfunded even.
But it's still the best reference. I
But
trust
it's
it the
like
most.
only on the internet, and like, who are they actually paying that they need to be crowdfunded?
IT staff,
How many?
a few people.
Yeah,
Yeah, because the
they can't
privately,
find funds for that
I think they
for
try to
education.
they're trying to operate more.
Grants.
Okay, so full disclosure, I donate to Wikipedia, and I think they're just trying to be more democratic about stuff,
Democratic.
and even
Do
more importantly, consensus based.
Okay, right, and that's how they get people contributing. Okay, how do they monitor that information if it's accurate or not? Because you could
That's the
have a
staff.
bunch of people.
That's the staff you're paying for to be
Okay,
like,
that's the staff. I
there's some
thought maybe you were
people
saying IT in a way
as
that they
well
were
as
like,
IT.
okay, yeah, thank you.
Yeah, it's good to be back on the air.
Dead air. Look at that pussycat. That's Noodle. So I guess transitioning. Um, I think Noodle's team is the Denver Nuggets. Because her nickname is Nuggy. And we just watched one of the opening games for the NBA season that just happened. So the first game was Lakers at a home game with the Denver Nuggets.
Denver was at home.
That's what I was saying.
Yes.
at a home game with. Yeah, okay. Thank you for clarifying. I see how that might have been ambiguous. Um, and so I asked Skull if they made pet merch.
Yes, they do.
I think that like I'm gonna have my pets have some sort of team, and so Noodle's gonna have the Denver Nuggets. So I need to look for some pet merch. And then I don't think I've decided on an NBA team yet. Um,
For yourself.
for myself.
Mine's the Pelicans.
But I'm thinking like maybe we could all have merch and we can like put it on like specific dates or something when it feels like, significant or whatever to the basketball season. Again, this is going to be my first full like basketball season ever of like kind of getting into basketball.
Oh yeah, thank you for getting into it.
So thank you for getting me into it and thank you for teaching me like and answering all my stupid little questions that like whatever people probably already know about just as general knowledge or something. I don't know. Yeah, anyway. So yeah, I don't remember the score, but I think that the Denver Nuggets won.
Yes, they did.
They won.
They play
It was
82
very
games
close.
each, so one game is not a big deal, but it was great,
Right.
very entertaining. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, it was very entertaining. There was a Kobe assist, which I just learned about that term, which is an offensive rebound. Am I correct?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay, I'm just like I said, I'm still learning like terminology and like how the game works on all these like whatever like smaller actions and stuff like that. Like
That's like the
obviously,
most nuanced NBA nerd term, a Kobe assist, too. So I think if the listeners are also like, I don't know, maybe new to NBA, or if they're not, I'm interested in. I haven't heard or read. We've got a lot of comments. There's tons of emails coming in, and I'm sorry, I can't listen to. I can't like respond to every single one immediately, but I'm getting through them. But it seems like a lot of NBA novices
I
out
mean,
there.
I feel like there's a lot of NBA novices or like what's under that? What's under a novice? Yeah.
Um,
Um,
Unaffiliated.
okay. I feel like there's a lot of people who just like I don't know. I could be wrong. Like if you aren't actually playing the sport, do you actually know? Like you're actually unaffiliated. Like just because you're a fan and you like know about it or whatever, it doesn't mean you actually know how to play or have the ability to play. I guess that's what I'm referring to. Like even if you know the rules, it doesn't mean you know how to play athletically
Right,
or like
right. Well,
physically.
but so there's
Maybe
no how
not
to
athletic.
play or like be good enough to, and I mean, that's kind of the
I
beautiful thing
guess that
about
I
it.
just mean specifically within the NBA realm, right? So we're talking about like affiliations with, I don't know. Anyway,
Right,
I'm
right. One
across.
of the criteria for most of the players are being these humongous athletic specimens of human beings, right? And I know there's like that is specimens a
That's
charged term.
gross.
It's kind of gross, right? Or like
Yeah,
they're right, they're not specimens because
right.
what does that
Or
mean?
like that means they're like being poked and prodded and observed under like
Right.
medical
And so when it's like a human,
context.
it reminds American of slavery, right?
Potentially. Right, right.
American, not
Pseudo
all
science.
humans, but yeah, right.
what is that one called? I can't think of it right now.
but they have unusual size, let's just say, especially
It's
NBA players,
like
but
they're
NFL
not within
players
the
too.
average range
Right,
of whatever human data we
right.
have,
They're
right?
way
So
bigger. They're just bigger, if
we're
nothing
talking
else.
just about data. So like we started out this podcast, this blogcast with median
Right, right. So what does that
income.
mean? If
So then like yeah, if they're not within the median or they're like considered an outlier, would you say?
right,
For folks
NBA
of that
size people,
stature, they're
Victor Wembanyama is 7'4".
right,
You know, like how many people are that tall? Like what percent? Certainly 0.0 something percent
right.
of people are that tall. I don't know. We should look that up sometime.
Yeah, I wonder if there's like some sort of like interactive database that we can play around with where we could be like, show me numbers of this range to this range and
Listeners,
how
let us
that
know.
compares. Yes, listeners, let us know if you have any resources that'll link us to like these databases of information that we can just like play around with within its own contained um user interface. I'm really into math and statistics, and Skull here is like kind of into that, but I don't think either of us want to like put the effort into like, visualizing, like putting these data points in to like a visual breakdown of like what that would be, and create our own quintiles or whatever of that information, because it just like already exists somewhere, I'm pretty sure, and I think too. Anyway, I'm rambling. What else you got? So yeah, there are they outliers was the question.
Okay, okay. Um,
But you want to circle
on
back to something
on
else.
that
Go
subject,
ahead.
on that subject. Oh yeah, there's some kitty kitty posing, for you listeners out there. And I guess I was circling back because we did a little show prep tonight, and to stuff I was sort of into, and created a foundation for activism that I've done, and for the old version of the Republic Today show.
Okay.
That was like, okay, I'm going to do some online research, and like
Yeah.
that's more research than
Yep.
99% of the people out there do. Even though this was like, I was to say 10 years ago, 2010, so like a long time ago, when I went for the original show.
Yeah.
And but I would like bring in statistics that were sourced as any other academic, or
Right.
reputable news source or something like that, because they all just they get, there's it's shared information in theory, supposedly,
Right.
in
Like
our
their
country
sample
with the
size is
First Amendment.
representative of whatever they're trying to, whatever.
And we're using technology to improve polling and surveys and things like that.
Yes.
But I think that, so the people who are making, I don't know, $500,000 a year as a household, think that they're like, oh, we're just regular blue collar working class people.
No.
Or blue collar. Maybe they're blue collar, but they're not worried. They're blue collar middle class. We're blue collar middle class people. We as a household, we make $500,000 a year.
But like they're more comfortable than like blue collar.
They're not. They're one percenters. They just don't know it.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
And so
Like
that's
there's a
why,
difference where like if you can afford health insurance or car insurance or just a car that doesn't break down or you're worried about on a consistent basis, like there are class differences even in those like smaller ways for sure. Sorry to interrupt.
no, I was going to ask you.
Okay.
No, I was going to ask you,
Uh-huh.
when you hear about how much money someone makes,
Uh-huh.
if it's like oh, I mean, I'm just gonna throw a number out there, but don't, just for theory, like $250,000 versus I make $25,000.
That's more
You
like
know,
me,
uh,
25,000.
but there's what about your parents? Or what about
Yeah, they make a lot more than me.
uh, what about your boss? What about your current bosses?
Bosses,
Yeah,
they
what
make double me,
I've been curious
probably.
about your current bosses.
They make at
They
least
own
double
homes
me.
and stuff.
One of them does, yeah.
So I'm just, and not just your experience, but like what you think overall. I mean, people who think they're middle class, working class, and then versus like what actual, if half the country is making less than $56,000 a year, which is what the median thing we just read off, you know, um, is that considered poor? I just want to hear more of your thoughts about that stuff.
I think that it's just so divided in so many ways. So like something that I talked about yesterday at the game night, um and something that's like feels relevant right now is like are like what kind of working class are you? Are you eligible through your jobs for health insurance? Do your jobs even offer full time for you to like receive health insurance? Or do you have to like navigate your living wage with multiple job positions, all of which don't offer health insurance or any other sort of like 401k matching benefit or literally anything? Like they could be like, yeah, all right, we understand that you might have like some mental health stuff, so we're gonna like we pay for this like whatever hotline, mental health line that you can call and like whatever, talk to somebody for free because we pay into that. Like literally none of that from any of my jobs. So like I actually do currently work for a job that like potentially I could get like some of those benefits through. Um, but I'd have to like work a certain amount of hours a month. And so it's under caregiving. So I would have to like get more training in order to work for people who are not my family.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe I don't want to work for other people in that way. Like I don't know
Mm-hmm.
what kind of tasks they have and stuff like that. There's a limit to the caregiving that I want to offer and provide.
In this case, it's
Anyway, backing up. Yeah.
nope, not backing up.
No,
In this case, is the state paying for you to caregive to people who are not your family?
it would come through whatever benefits or monies that they have. So like because I caregive for my dad, yes, it goes through an agency on aging, which is like through state and federal funding. Yes. So I get paid through that. Or like whatever they transfer funds through my payroll people, my actual like employer. Yes. Um, but it could be that those folks pay out of their pockets for caregiving services and it goes through my employer.
Okay, okay, interesting. So we've talked about caregiving at different times, and I thought maybe it could be the case that you said you needed more training. It would be private then. They would be just someone's kids being like, "Hey, will you take care of my parent? Here's
It could
money."
be, it
And
could
then
be
there's like an employer that kind of mediates that transaction. Okay. So could you be a freelance caregiver? Do you have to get licensed for that?
freelance. I mean, I think I can do that without an employer. Yes, I believe so. I'll have to look into that. Is that what you're thinking? Freelance would be like I'm the business or I'm the
Yeah, I don't
If I
know. Right,
so
as opposed to
that would be more people paying out of pocket or whatever. But like if I wanted to be open to whatever people of all sorts of payment
right
options.
with the government, if they
Right.
had government monies.
Right.
So okay, that was just we're talking about economics tonight. That was kind of the situation that we were getting there.
Mhm.
So we said happy opening day to the NBA, right? Yeah, it was great. It was great. And I think the late game hasn't even ended yet as of recording. So
Right.
um right when we were kind of putting this together. And Jay here started off with the whole winter holiday blanket. This is the one that it can come out as early as Labor Day, right? Could you call this autumnal? How would you pronounce that?
Autumnal.
But it's snowflakes for you listeners out there. Snowflakes on red background, and
White snowflake.
white snowflakes on red
They're
background.
not yellow.
They're not. It's not the acid rain ones. These are from a different environment, idyllic, pre-apocalyptic environment. uh, and I think appropriate through certainly through Christmas. What I guess Ash Wednesday is when you got to put this one up,
Okay.
or is this can it get through until it's hot? I don't know. I'm not
Right.
sure because it seems is it secular? It's pretty secular.
It's
Anyway,
secular.
I just wanted to leave on some
It's more
questions like
just
that.
like weather
Yeah,
related and
weather, right?
seasonal. Could be
Excuse me. Yeah,
seasonal and weather. Yeah.
yeah.
Makes sense.
Cheers. Fuck yeah. Well,
Yeah.
fuck yeah. This vlog the pleb. Re- uh.
Remember earlier when I was like, save it for the podcast.
I mean vlogcast. No, I know.
Are you just
We
getting
had a
over
lot.
it right now?
So and even when we were really on a good clip, I just want the listeners to know, that like it was because we would have these really good conversations at the Brotherhood Lounge, and it would be like this would have been good for the vlogcast, and then we'll come back and we'll be a little more crossed up, and the shows weren't as. But that's I mean that's how things go. That's how work goes. It's always better in the preview, the rear view, like thing. I don't know. Uh, that's how different interactions with people go. Sometimes it's like, oh yeah, that just grooved, and then sometimes like that negotiation failed. We're in an unprecedented time in our republic right now. There hasn't been a speaker of the house for a couple weeks. It's never happened before. We've never had one that was deposed. It's the first time.
I'm not sure what that means.
So in the US House of Representatives, there's the majority party elects like one leader to be like, okay, they're the organizer in charge of the whole deal. And they get to like hold court or not, whether or not they're gonna pass laws and shit, like super important government stuff if you believe in government. Some anarchists do, whatever, like I don't know. But it is part of our culture, one way
Yeah.
or the other.
We're talking about real life right now. Go
Right.
ahead.
Anarchists acknowledge that government exists. And for the first time, the Speaker of the House was like taken out. And so they're like, they don't know who the next one's going to be. And all these people kind of want to do it. And it's kind of like a little mini presidential
Also, they
thing.
have to give speeches and you have to pick.
And well, but it's all behind the scenes because people
Uh-huh.
don't vote for it.
Right.
It's just
It's just
the
that.
congressman.
Right.
So it reminds me of the Roman Catholic Church. It reminds me of the ancient Rome, which I think about multiple times a day.
Apparently, you do every day.
Yeah, it's weird. I think about some things every day. I don't think I have anything else.
Yeah, I think I'm good.
Happy holidays, y'all. It's the holiday season.
Spooky season.
It's spooky season. Happy Halloween.
You got it? Thanks for listening.
Yes, thank you. Can you say thanks for watching?
And thanks for